We're going to start with Boise State because they're the home team. And for the initial advantage, I just simply have written down in my notes Ashton Genty. I don't think you need to add anything to that, really. He is, at worst, the second best player in the nation, only being behind Travis Hunter, who is also doing something historic in being a true dual sided player. Genty, though, he is just ridiculous. He is really fast. He has fantastic power. The only thing that really isn't great about him is he's not a good receiver, but aside from that, there are no flaws in his game. And what matters most is the fact that in college, running backs matter a lot. And in the pros, too, just as a sidebar, they're starting to matter a little bit more than they have in recent years, I would say, with the conversion to more of cover two style defenses. Anyways, in addition to Genty being just a ridiculously talented player, Boise State's offensive line is great at run blocking, which is a really big advantage in and of itself, but especially because UNLV is just middling in the run defense department. And that is a bit terrifying if you're a UNLV fan, because not only do you have to watch out for Genty, you have to watch out for the run blocking. And that's just simply not what the defense is focused on in a natural setting. They're going to be focused on it in this game, but it is not what their strength naturally is. Another advantage for Boise State is that they have a great edge rusher in Ahmed Hassanin. I think is how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I butchered that. He's going to win versus an average offensive tackle in Jalen St. John. So that is where we start shifting to the defensive side of things. You obviously have the running advantage, but there are some defensive things that are in their favor as well. The other advantage is that they have an elite cornerback in Amarion McCoy. He is going to be able to slow down the other elite player that will be opposite him in Ricky White. So that's going to be a really good matchup. I think that is going to be one that is kind of a sneaky determining factor. It shouldn't be that sneaky. They're both fantastic players, and I think everybody knows that they're going to be matched up for a fair amount of the time. But I think that if McCoy is able to slow down White, that's just going to get everybody else in the right position defensively and make it a lot easier to contain a really high powered UNLV offense. Speaking of their offense, we now shift to the advantages for UNLV. Before we do that, actually, though, if you were not keeping track, Boise State has 5 advantages because they also have home field advantage. That is the 5th advantage they have. So keep that in mind. 5 advantages for Boise State. UNLV, they have a really big one in Haj Malik Williams being greater than Maddox Madsen. I would say there's a big difference between these two. Williams, he is very good. He is a talented passer, and Madsen, he's not bad, but he is just not in the same tier as Williams is. As for another advantage for UNLV, similar to Boise State on the other side, UNLV will have great run blocking, and that'll be better than Boise State's average run defense. So again, the ground game will be superior to the defense they're being matched up against. So you have passing going your way for UNLV, you have running going your way. They also have a nice receiver connection with Jacob De Jesus. He's going to be going against an average nickelback in Rodney Robinson. So there's going to be a big advantage there. Jesus is very good. He's great, I would say. And Robinson, he's just average. There's nothing really special there. The next thing we have is that there's a below average cornerback, Jeremiah Irby. He can be attacked in coverage relentlessly, and UNLV has very good receiver play, so they can particularly get after him as they can put him in a bind by forcing him into decisions in zone coverage where he's not great. And if he gets into man coverage, that's really going to be advantageous for UNLV. The next thing for UNLV is that they have a great nickelback in Jonathan Baldwin. He is better than the good receiver that'll be his counterpart, Latrell Caples. So they have lots of advantages at skill positions, which is so nice. It is advantageous at any level of football, but it can really be big in college in particular. So that is a really big advantage for them. It's not all at skill positions, though. They also, in the trenches, have a good defensive tackle, Alex Whitmore. He should have success when he gets to be isolated against the weaker Roger Karen. He is just not up to par. Maybe it's Kiran. I don't know. It's something like that. He is not nearly as good as Whitmore is. So Whitmore should have success, and that's really going to be another big advantage, possibly. If Whitmore can blow up the run game by shooting gaps, that'll be huge. And if Whitmore can get after Madsen, that will be a key factor as well in UNLV's hopes. Overall, though, I'm leaning Boise State here. UNLV has 6 advantages, which is one more than Boise State's 5, but Genty should count as 2 or 3, not just 1. He is that sensational, and I think that between that and their very cool home field advantage being blue, I think that'll be enough for them to win this game.